Launch Perfect, how to launch your 5-day challenges. My name is Sterling. I am the creator of Launch Perfect. I have a company called Stack Digital, and today I'm going to go into why having a Q&A session is super important in your 5-day challenge, when to have the Q&A session, and how to build it super powerfully so that people who are on the fence and haven't purchased yet, you can move them over there ethically and feel great about it. So one of the best ways to do this during Open Cart is a Q&A day. So I typically teach people, you're going to be teaching content on day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4. You're going to wrap up, summarize the previous 3 days, teach a little bit more, but mostly you're going to walk people through what your program looks like on day 4 and invite them into your offer, your program, your course, your coaching, your service, whatever it is that you happen to be selling. In day 5, I tell people to reserve for a full session of questions and answers. Okay. So in this module, in this video, I'm going to teach you what a Q&A series looks like, when it's best to be used, the benefits of it, what guidelines should be placed around a Q&A session so it doesn't become this just big free-for-all, and you don't want to make, be fielding questions from negative Nellies and keeping the flow positive. I'm going to talk to you about the best ways to do this, how to post the questions, how to elicit the questions ahead of time, and to come to people and have them come on live with you so that you can get there. So I am going to share my screen here. We're going to walk through this. By the way, what I'm about to show you is available as a download. There should be a link below this video that will take you to this exact download should you want it. All right, let me see here, share my screen. Okay, hopefully you can see this. Launch Perfect 5-day challenge, Open Cart Q&A session checklist. Okay, we're going to do a whole series of what you can do during Open Cart. This is part 1. Okay, so one thing that you want to remember right away is that your Q&A should not just be an afterthought. I feel like too often people are like, I'm just going to show up, I'm going to wing it, I'm going to answer questions. Can you do that? Yes. Is it the most effective way to do? Probably not. So the first thing I want you to do is to set aside time for your Q&A. I talked a little bit about this at the beginning of the video. You want the Q&A in your challenge because it's going to fundamentally change the dynamic between you as the host and your audience in a great way. As hosts, sometimes we forget that the point of our teaching isn't just to let us talk. It's actually to create an exchange of views and information. And the Q&A session will transform your teaching from an empty exercise and you just talking at your audience, lecture style, into a really great learning experience for your audience. Okay, these are some facts. When presentations are interactive, members of the audience are significantly more likely to pay attention, stay engaged, and to tune in because they feel like they're part of a dialogue, not just being spoken to. The Q&A also gives you a great opportunity to see how your work is being perceived by others. And it's also going to allow you to get more information out about your topic and your product. So people may ask you questions that you never in a million years thought somebody needed the answer to. That happens every single challenge I do, anytime my clients do a challenge. The second step is to invite people to day 5 of your challenge for the Q&A. Like I said at the beginning, days 1 through 3 are teaching. Day 4 is kind of a wrap up and inviting people into your offer. And then day 5, you're going to reserve for strictly a Q&A. What do I want to say here? Yeah, you want to budget an allotment of time, not just on day 5, but you want to put about 20% of your schedule of what you're going to be teaching. So day 1, let's say you're going to speak for 40 minutes, and you want to leave another 10 minutes for Q&A just about day 1. So at the end of each teaching, you want to also leave about a 20% of your allotted time for Q&A. All right. Make sure you invite people to your Q&A session during the challenge, as some may not have fully participated in the challenge, but they still may have questions, and getting those questions answered can help them convert into your offer. Step 3, you want to make a list of potential questions and your answers ahead of time in case there's some really random question that gets asked and you need to have some forethought about it. We recommend doing a few things. We always have people post a graphic in their group on day 4 or the morning of day 5 saying, what's a list of questions that you have either about the challenge or about the offer that I made, inviting people into your program. And then you can also grab comments. You can go in and see, usually in the comments from day 1, 2, 3, and 4, people are going to write questions. You may not have gotten to them that day. So assemble those questions, grab the questions from the post that you make. And then of course, you can always send an email to the people that registered saying, what questions do you have about the challenge or the offer? Put them into a big fat document so you have a place to roll from when you start day 5. And then you can open the floor up to people asking, live during day 5. All right. Step 4 is to neutralize your openness. What does that mean? When you receive a really thoughtful question that allows you to talk about your product, answering super simple, right? It's fun and it's easy. But if you get an irrelevant question or somebody who's meandering, or even worse, somebody, comes at you hot, hostile, they may not like something that you said, they might just be in a bad mood, whatever the case may be, you want to thank the person regardless of what they're talking about. This helps neutralize hostile questions. It's really hard if somebody's coming at you. If you say sincerely, I want to thank you for bringing this up, that'll help neutralize that person a lot. Let them know that you're grateful for the new perspective and that you're going to look into this perspective in the future. It shows that you are open without giving up your authority. Does that make sense? Okay, great. If possible, you want to pivot irrelevant questions towards something else that you want to address in your Q&A that have not had the chance to yet. So one technique for doing that is to rephrase the question. If I understand you correctly, the question is, and then move it into what you need to answer. All right, and then you want to prep for an odd and inappropriate question that allows both you and the person asking to save face. For example, you might say, that's a fantastic question. And although I don't feel it's appropriate right now, or it might take too long to answer right now, I'd be happy to address it one-on-one with you after the session. So to neutralize and stay open to somebody hostile, to recap, you have acknowledging and thanking them for the question, pivoting the question more into an answer that will benefit the group. And thirdly, just saying, if it's completely off the rails, just say, I'm happy to have a conversation with you about that one-on-one. All right, and then step 5, let people know ahead of time if there's a cutoff for your question. I recommend you specify a cutoff time before you dive in so they know how much time that they're going to be there. During open cart on day 5, you're going to want to let them know ahead of time that you will stay on to answer every single question if there is no cutoff time. So if it's day 1, 2, 3, 4, you don't want to have questions going on and on. If you've spoken for 20, 30, 40 minutes, you don't want to have another 40 minutes of questions. Just say, I'm leaving 10 minutes for the questions today. I'm leaving 10 minutes for the questions today. However, on day 5, I do tell people to leave that as open-ended as humanly possible, because you've made your offer. People are going to have a lot of questions about it, and you want to make sure to address all those. Because if you cut people off there, you're just cutting off a potential sale for you. All right. So I hope that helps you. Like I said, there's going to be several links in the below this video. One is going to be to download the sheet. The second one is going to be take you over to my product, Launch Perfect. It is the fast, easy, safe way to launch a highly lucrative 5-day challenge. It has absolutely everything that you need to do that. It is not a course. It is a system. It is a process for helping you create really wildly successful 5-day challenges. All right, thank you so much. On to the next video.